Next, we have to find the gravitational potential due to a uniform spherical shell. A spherical shell is a hollow sphere on the surface of which the mass is distributed. Because mass is distributed in a continuous manner, so we have to use the differential and integral method to find the potential. For that purpose, we take an elementary mass in the form of a ring. In the figure, this is the shell which has mass m and radius a. And this is the ring, elementary ring, which makes angle theta at the center. This is the angle theta. So, using the trigonometry, we can find that OA is the radius of the shell. So, radius of the ring is a sine theta. Because perpendicular oblique hypotenuse is equal to sine theta. So, this is the radius of ring. And width of this ring is a d theta. This is the width. Using the formula angle equal to arc by radius. This ring subtend angle d theta at the center of the shell and radius is a, so its width will be a d theta. This is used to find the area of the ring. For ring, we know that potential at a point on its axis is minus gm by z. If we draw a figure, this is the ring, this is the axis, and on this axis there is a point P. Then at this point P, potential is V equal to minus gm by z, where z is the distance of a point on the ring from the point P. This is z. And m is the mass of the ring. The elementary mass of the ring is total mass of the shell by total area, that is 4 pi a square. This is the mass density. Into now area of the ring, it is the circumference multiplied by its width. Circumference is 2 pi a sine theta. This is the circumference, and multiplied by its width, that is a d theta. On simplifying, if we cancel by 2 pi, it will remain 2, and a square will also get cancelled out. So remaining is m by 2 sine theta d theta. This is the potential due to the elementary ring. Minus g dm, this is the mass of the elementary ring, and distance of the ring from the point P. This is the point on the ring, and also A is the point on the ring. So z is the distance. So we write here it is z. And substituting a value of dm, it will be m by 2 sine theta d theta by z. In this expression, we have the two variables theta and z. I want to eliminate one of the variable. For this, we use trigonometry. In trigonometry, we know the cosine rule, that is cos A equal to b square plus c square minus a square by 2bc. This formula we can apply in triangle OAP. In the figure triangle OAP, we apply this formula. We can write cos theta is equal to a square plus r square minus z square by 2ar, or 2ar cos theta equal to a square plus r square minus z square. We differentiate it. On differentiating, we get this. Here radius of shell A and distance of the point from the center of shell, both are taken constant. So it is 2ar, these are constant, it will be taken out, and differential of cos theta is minus sine theta d theta, and it will be equal to differential of a square, it is 0, Differential of r square, it is also constant, so 0. Minus, and differential of z square, it is 2z dz. On simplifying, this 2 and 2 will be cancelled, and this minus and minus will be cancelled. So remaining is ar sine theta d theta equal to z dz. Or we can say sine theta d theta equal to z dz by ar. And we replace this sine theta and d theta value. This value we can replace here. So we get minus g m by 2 into z dz by ar, and remaining is z. This z and z get cancelled. So ultimately dV, this elementary potential will be minus gm by 2ar into dz. Now we have to find the total potential. For total potential, we have two cases. Case 1, when r is greater than a, that means point lying outside the spherical shell. And case 2, when point lies inside the shell, that is r is less than a. So we take these cases one by one. We take case 1, when r is greater than a. Point is laying outside the shell. We have found dV equal to minus gm by 2ar into dz. So V will be equal to integral of minus gm by 2ar into dz. Constant will be taken out, ar, gm, this whole term is constant. So minus gm by 2ar will be taken out, and remaining is dz. Now we have to put the limits so that all the rings can be included to get the potential because of the whole cell. One of the ring we have taken here, so we have to take rings so that it includes all, whole cell is to be included. Therefore, we take one of the point here, and one last point, end point will be taken here. If we take from this z value, this is the z. If we start z from this point to this point, that is x to y, it include all the rings and will give the final potential because of the shell. And this x distance from the point P will be r. R is the distance from O to P. This is the distance from center of the cell of the point P. And OX is the radius of this cell. So this distance will be r minus a. Similarly, distance of the y from the point P will be r plus a. So we will integrate from the limit r minus a to r plus a. And on integrating from r minus a to r plus a, we will get equal to minus gm by 2ar into integration of dz is z, r minus a, r plus a, and substitute the limits to ar. First upper limit r plus a, then lower limit r minus a. It is equal to minus gm by 2ar. It will be r plus a minus r plus a. R and R will be cancelled, and it is 2a. And this 2a will be cancelled out by this 2a. So finally we will get minus gm by r. So for r greater than a, potential due to the shell equal to minus gm by r, where g is the gravitational constant, m is the mass of the shell, and r is the distance of the point from the shell, where r is greater than a, that is, it is laying outside the shell. And it is just like the point mass formula, where v equal to minus gm by r, where m is the mass of the point mass and r is the distance of the point from the mass, where potential V is minus Gm by R. Therefore, this formula resembles with the formula of point masses. Next we take second case, case 2, when R is less than A. That means point lie inside the shell. This is the shell. Earlier we have taken the point P here. Now instead of this we are taking this point P here. This is the center. Distance of the P from the center is R, and the radius of the shell is A. Therefore, we can determine the limit here. This is the x, one of the end, and this is the y. So this distance will be now A minus R, and this distance will be A plus R. So we will integrate here from A minus R to A plus R if A is less than A, so that potential due to the all elementary region can be summed up to give the total potential because of the whole cell. Then we integrate it using formula for potential, that is dV equal to minus Gm by 2AR dz. We integrate it minus Gm by 2AR integral dz, where limit is A minus R to A plus R when R is less than A. So it will give minus Gm by 2AR into, it is Z A minus R A plus R, that is equal to minus Gm by 2AR A plus R minus A minus R. First upper limit minus then lower limit. And when we open it, minus Gm by 2AR, it will be A plus R minus A plus R. And A get cancelled. So it is 2R, and this 2R will get cancelled by this term. So remaining is minus Gm by A. That means if point is in the interior of the shell, then the potential is minus Gm by A. That means it is a constant value. So we can sum up that potential due to the spherical shell is equal to minus Gm by R if R is greater than A. A is the radius of shell, and it is equal to minus Gm by A if R is less than A. Naturally, it is simple to say minus Gma is the value of if R equal to A. It means this potential will be constant inside the shell and will be equal to what the value at the surface of the shell, and outside the shell the potential is minus Gm by R. If we draw graphically the potential with R, if this is the R, this is the A, this is the radius of the shell. So at A, this value is fixed. This is the minus Gm by A. If R is less than, this portion is R is less than A. If R is less than A, then potential is constant and same as at the surface. After that, this value R is increasing. That means GMR will be less, and this is the less negative value. So it will be in this way.